The whole month of September has been branded as Reset-ember. The idea of getting on the right path and doing what's right, doing what's better. In my case, writing more and, maybe trying my hand at drawing again because, because of the goal being to produce more graphic novels. And, because the first attempt was such as I've jokingly said to friends, a failure to launch. The final episode in the month-long Reset-ember. After the open, we'll talk about how the comic will survive. I said before that open, this video is going to be about how the comic will survive. Because like last time, I called it Everlasting Beginnings. We'll call this one Surviving a Failure to Launch. So, I said last week, and it's the truth, I got excited when Nick Crook and Fabri Ferdian helped get Everlasting Survivors to the finish line. Nick drew the final 15 pages. Fabri colored pages, recolored some, colored new ones, and helped get everything completed. The 68-page graphic novel ready to go. Ready to go as in ready to print. And so I jumped the gun. I didn't do what so many others have done, which is succeed, find that audience, and bring in the money it takes to bring new products to bear. So I have to ask myself a question, which is why? Why am I still doing this? Like, I want to believe, and I strongly feel that this is something that can be good, that is good. So I was going back and I was looking for images to use for last week's video when I talked about the beginning of the project, and I couldn't help but get lost in the story. I know it seems egotistical or braggadocious or whatever, but I don't mean it in that way. I'm not saying, oh, it's the the Long Halloween or All-Star Superman or whatever, but I couldn't help but, so I was looking for pictures to put in the video, but I couldn't help but start reading it and then be like, oh man, it feels good, it feels right. But I just don't know how to get where it needs to be. I know that I did so many things wrong by not promoting the book before I went on Indiegogo, and by changing the duration on day one, because I out of paranoia launched a day earlier than I anticipated just to make sure that I did things right, because I didn't understand the pre-launch feature, which is part of the promotional stuff and the way to check things out. So that was done wrong, which then limited my ability to keep it up longer, to maybe have the chance to make more, to raise more, because I'm this close to having another script done, but like there are just days, today being one of those days, there are just days where I'm like, why do I even bother? Why am I still writing this? Because even though I feel like, oh man, that feels good and it's solid and it's enjoyable, but it's like, what good is it to do this work if nobody knows it exists? And you know, there are other days. Obviously, there are times when I'm like, it's worthwhile because it's going to work out, but the big problem is I don't know if that's true because I don't know where. You can't see the future. And if you could, would you even stay the same? Because, like, looking back on my life now, I'm like, well, if I'd have spent this money differently, or didn't pursue that relationship, or waste that time, then I could have been here or done that or had this piece of success. Or, you know, every what if is just a every what if is just a roadblock into completing the story. Because, like, had the book reached the $20,000 goal that was initially put up for the Indiegogo campaign, if I'd have reached it instead of falling very short, then there's no why am I writing this story. The why is because there's a solid fan base that has purchased the product and wants more, and it has been proven that there is money to be made that can facilitate the ongoing of the project. But the reason I have the fear that things won't happen is because I have the proven fact that it failed once before. And so with that, I'm struggling to feel comfortable or confident with the work that is being done, to continue to attempt to bring this about. And I want to stand here and be defiant and say it will work and it's going to be great and it feels so right. I want that. I want to say that. I want to feel that. I want to know that. But I don't know. Because the fear is still there. Because of the lack of success. I guess. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Because I don't have the alternative. I don't live in the alternative reality to know whether or not what my mindset would be had it gone the other way. Because I can believe a scenario where I got all of the success that I desired, and then I feared not being able to repeat it. So maybe it's not the failure itself. Maybe it's just me, once again, being me and not being able to appreciate. I don't know. I don't know. And I hate that feeling of the unknown. And I launched that. I actually launched it earlier than I wanted. I really like the idea of 2/1/21 because obviously it's 2/1/21. And so with that, I launched the book. Technically, I did it on the day before, just because I was scared. I was like, what if I did something wrong? I better make sure it's viewable. And so I do it the day before, or the night before. And because I do that, I change the end date, which you can only do that once on Indiegogo. I didn't realize that until after I had already changed or extended it by a day. And so you can only extend one time. Well, I did it at the absolute wrong time. Like I should have waited should have just pretended like it went live 2/1/21. Because when it came time to extend in a legitimate fashion, when it came time that I came to the 30 days being at an end, I was like, man, I haven't reached my goal. And when I say goal, I mean the amount of money it would take to produce more books. Because that's what it was all about. Like, I had already sunk $7,000 into this. So it was like, I wasn't asking so much for money to, I wasn't so much asking for money to back, really. Like, I wasn't looking to make a profit. I was looking to fund volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, so forth and so on. And heck, even prequels. Like, I'm this close to finishing Dominic Canujo's origin story. I'm also this close to finishing volume 2. I struggle at times when I'm working on these things to be like, why am I doing this? What good is it when the audience isn't there? It's like, you don't even have the money to fund the stuff, even if you get it finished. And if you finish it, is it even good enough? I can't tell you the number of times where, when I was working on this project, I was like, oh man, is this even any good? I don't know. I've been so deep into it. Honestly, it wasn't even until maybe very recently, I'll say, where I even felt the confidence to say, wow, that is good stuff. I can say for sure when I was editing last week's video to put up with the images. I was going over my saved files and I was trying to find images to put into the video. And while I was looking at the images, I couldn't help but read the story. Just, pictures, words, they're all there. So I'm reading and I was like, man, this is really good. Like, not trying to be braggadocious or something, but like, it just felt like, yes, it is good. Like, which, I have to believe it. I put it out. But B, it's just one of those things where I don't want to feel as though I'm putting myself on some sort of, you did it kind of thing. Pedestal, I guess. And so for a while I struggled with confidence. Confidence in, and it works in every which way. And maybe it goes back to so many things from last week. It goes back to the, you're a hopeless dreamer, will never accomplish anything. It goes back to the not having the money. It goes back to the time it's taken. But I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be upbeat. I'm trying to be good. And so with that in mind, I do believe that Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, all day long, it is a solid beginning. It has a great foundation. And like I said, I'm more than a third done with Dom's origin story. I'm well on the way to having Volume 2 finished being written. Volume 3 is already, in the works. There are very few of these still in existence. So few, even, in fact, that even if I sold out, I wouldn't have enough money saved back to be able to afford the next volume. So I just have to keep putting back and saving back and working to get Volume 2 done. That way when it goes back to Indiegogo, when it goes to be available again, there is an additional product. There's more stuff. There's hope for the future. And like, it's not just a story. Don't get me wrong, I love the story, but like, so many things, like calling it a silverback instead of a trade paperback. That's fun. That's exciting. It's pretty. That's good stuff right there. Come on. And offering more in each time you get it. I like that idea. I like the idea of the company even. I like I mean, and I ought to. It was my idea, but like I feel like these things can work. Everlasting Survivors. It's quality. It's good. It can work. Gamble Comics. You know, yes, I took a gamble on myself. Has it paid off? Not yet, but I believe it can. Like, giving people more, you know, of the story, making it almost binge worthy, like people are used to with streaming services. Can it work? I believe it can. And so yeah, like I said, this this video is surviving a failure to launch because I did, and it has. Even though I did not reach my goal on Indiegogo, I I will relaunch Everlasting Survivors All Day Long, Volume 1, again. It will launch again. It will return to Indiegogo, and yeah, let's make it real. Let's make it legit. I'll announce here and now that Everlasting Survivors All Day Long will be back on Indiegogo February of 2022. Just like the birth of the channel was because my mother had faith in me and in the product, and that's why I started the channel. If you go back and you watch Mission Statement, video number 1, it's the whole reason it exists, is because her belief lives on her belief in me lives on through the success of this project. So I promise that Everlasting Survivors will be back on Indiegogo February of 2022 in celebration of her birthday. And yeah, this one's shorter, but it's still part of Reset-ember. It's still getting refocused. It's still promise that things are going to get to where they need to be. And yeah, so coming up this week will be my 36th birthday. And so before that, I will announce to the audience that Everlasting Survivors will return to Indiegogo February of 2022. There will be 2 new covers. A new cover, at minimum, there'll be 2 new covers. If there are still first printings, they'll be up there, but right now you can get your first printing of Everlasting Survivors at Etsy.com. There will be a link in the description, like there always is. Every video's got one, because like I said, the point of the channel, the goal of the channel, the purpose of the channel is to prove my mom right, that to make sure that this all wasn't for nothing. And so yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you've read the book, please comment. If you have a copy, please tell your friends, because you are going to be how that this project works out. Thank you. And in the month of October, it's no longer going to be exclusively about me and the project. In October, we go back to the things that the channel did before, movie reviews with Brandon, or TV conversations, you know, wrestling reviews, wrestling predictions, things of that nature. Thank you to everyone who has made Reset-ember a success. The video about the beginning of Everlasting Survivors was one of the biggest videos in the channel's history. Not the biggest, that's still the Adjustment Bureau, but yeah, thank you for watching. Please comment below if you've read the book, what you think. If you have read the book, please recommend it to a friend. As I said, there's a link to the Etsy store in the comment or in the description. So so like the video, share the video, comment below. And most importantly, like I said, if you've read the book, recommend it to a friend. If you haven't read the book, follow Everlasting Survivors on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, because it's you, the audience, that it's going to help make this all work out. Thank you. And it's the end of Reset-ember.